How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to show you what it's like to drive the 1998 Integra Type R as well as the 2024 Integra Type S from a first-person point of view. Made from 1997 to 2001, this was the first car in the United States with the Type R name, and it was actually the only Type R until the last generation Honda Civic Type R. Under the hood of the Integra Type R is a 1.8-liter four-cylinder making 195 horsepower and 130 pound-feet of torque with a red line at 8,500 RPM. 0 to 60 happens in 6.2 seconds and the quarter mile in 14.8. Compared to the GSR, we've got a strengthened chassis, it's lighter weight, it's got more power. In fact, it only weighs 2,600 pounds, which is incredibly light by today's standards. We've got double wishbone suspension, front and rear, lightweight wheels as well. And with that 5-speed manual transmission, front-wheel drive layout, and that 2,600 pound curb weight, it is an absolute animal to drive. Coming around the back, we've got this massive rear spoiler in comparison to the one on the Type S that is just so much smaller. Now you'll notice it says Integra stamped into the bumper. It's also got the same little stamping right here as well, although the Type R badge is actually a sticker, which I find kind of interesting. Now, if we go ahead and open up the rear trunk, you'll notice it's actually got this strengthening bar here to make the chassis even more rigid, and a very nice size trunk. Hopping inside the Integra Type S now, very purpose-built. We've got these beautiful bucket seats that hold you in place very, very well. Now check this out. We've got this hidden compartment right here, and if you pull that back, that is actually where you set the date and time of the vehicle. Of course, we've got a 5-speed manual transmission. That is fantastic. We'll get it out on the road and see what that is like to experience. The steering wheel feels great in your hands. It's actually got buttons for the horns, which is pretty cool. Now, it's often been stolen, and that's because this lock mechanism was made way too easy to access. If you put a coat hanger through here, you can hook it around and you can unlock the car and easily take it for a spin, and then you own a Type R yourself. All right, guys, let's take it for a drive. Behind the wheel of the Type R now, and this thing is absolutely awesome. When VTEC kicks in around 6,200 RPM, it sounds insane. The intake noise is so impressive. Until about 6,200, it doesn't have a whole lot of acceleration. You really do have to rev it out, but once it gets in the upper RPM range, it really does start to pull a bit. And that intake noise is absolutely incredible. The seating position in this car is amazing. The windshield slopes down away from you. The visibility is amazing. You feel like you're in a big go-kart. And the level of grip is really impressive for a front-wheel drive car. Wow. I am really impressed with the Integra Type R. Much more so than I was expecting. Now, it's not fast by modern day standards, but it's just a bunch of fun and puts a smile on your face genuinely from ear to ear, and it just sounds incredible, to be honest. It's got a lot less sound deadening than the new car. Wow, so much grip. So you hear wind noise, you hear rocks bouncing against the chassis, but that's what makes this thing awesome. It's a purpose-built sports car, and that engine is truly amazing. Now, you're obviously going to be quicker in the new car. You're also going to be more comfortable in the new car. But I don't know if you're gonna have more fun. And this thing sounds miles better. It's not even close. It's not a comparison between the two engines. That turbocharger in the new car just sucks away that exhaust note. Whereas this, I mean, it just sounds like a borderline race car. Wow. I absolutely love this thing. Visibility all the way around is incredible. It's easy to drive at low speeds. The shift linkage feels fantastic. It's perfectly notchy. The clutch is nice and light. The steering feel is great. The suspension rides over bumps incredibly well. These seats hold you in place so well. I'm blown away by this thing. I absolutely love it. All right, let's head to the new car. All right, now we are in the new Integra Type S, and it's a pretty different experience in here. It's a lot more comfortable. You're a lot more isolated from the road. The acceleration is a lot more extreme, but it's still a whole bunch of fun. Sport Plus mode honestly rides pretty much just as firm as the 98 Integra Type R, which honestly is kind of surprising. I would have figured that that car would have been a little bit more rough around the edges. Now it is in terms of its insulation, but not so much in terms of its suspension. Levels of grip are incredible in this car as well. And it is an absolute blast to drive. It does make me miss that naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. This engine, it's very torquey. It pulls a lot harder at lower RPMs than the Integra Type R does, but it doesn't sound all that good. Now we're gonna put it into comfort mode, because that's where this car really excels in comparison to the old one. This would be an incredible daily driver. You could easily daily drive this thing. It's super comfortable, it's isolated, you've got creature comforts, heads-up display, lane keep assist, wireless Apple CarPlay, etc. The other car would probably annoy you. Even short trips on highway speeds, the wind noise and just the noise in general is a little bit extreme. But it's incredible for twisty canyon roads and that type of experience. This car does everything well. It's really fun in a canyon environment. It's great as a daily driver. It's practical, it's got a ton of grip, and it looks fantastic. I think this car looks a lot better than the old one. Yes, obviously generations different styling, but I do really love the way this looks. I will say it feels so much bigger than that car, but the impressive part is it's only 600 pounds heavier, even though it almost feels and looks like it's twice as big of a car. Manual transmission in this is brilliant as well. Obviously, that car doesn't have active rev matching for downshifts like this one, which is either, you know, a positive if you're not that good at driving manual, or a negative, but you can turn it off in the display here, so it really isn't that big of a deal whatsoever. Now, as comfortable as this car is, it's equally as impressive at high speeds. The levels of grip are insane, even more so than the previous car that I just drove. And the level of confidence it gives you is absolutely insane. We've got a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, making 320 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. So the performance levels of this Integra Type S are leagues above that of the 98 Type R. Obviously, 26 years is a long time, but man, the performance of this is at an entirely different level. And having a sedan in today's day and age with a manual transmission is absolutely awesome. It is so fun to drive, and gives you so much confidence behind the wheel that you're going to make it around the corner every single time. Wow. It would really be hard to pick one or the other because they just feel like such different purposes. It's really impressive that this car does everything. So if you wanted something that you're going to use more often, this is definitely the one to get. But in terms of something that feels a little bit more special, I think the last car, that Integra Type R, is the move. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.